Okay, all right.
Yep.
So let's begin. The agenda item uh, that we want to focus on today is has to do with um, these pages, and you see the My Strategy pages for each of the strategy packages. So there are three packages, basically three packages of different strategies. So there is the first column is the mainline strategies, which is under the strategic information um, uh, tab. Then there are booster packs. Then there are turbo packs. So there are these three mainline strategies, and then for each of those, you will find a My Strategy page here on the top, and that is basically your combination of strategy pages that will appear uniquely for each individual's account. So I wanted to show you how you can build these pages for yourself, what should be the decision parameters, and then how do they help you trade. So first of all, I wanted to go from, top down. So first, let's see some results of the strategy pages. So this is my own page. This is the My Strategy TP page from my account. So if you actually click your account, you might not see this, but this is my page. And so what you see is quite interesting here. I think all of you under understand the mechanics of the page now. That the top line tells you all the trades that the strategy came up with since January 2018. The second line tells you what is your average US dollar profit per for each of these trades for every trade. Then you get the win ratio, and then the number of trades that made more than your profit target. So in this case, you can actually starting to see that my profit target is setting is 200%, which I will reiterate is basically if we put $100 in a trade, I will not come out till it makes 300. So basically $200 of profit, that's 200%. And then you can also see this number, and that tells you that for getting these results, uh, we are not making an investment of more than $250 per trade. I think somebody joined here. Um, so um, so then any questions here before we go down further into the results, and then I explain how do you build this custom strategy for yourself.
So just one question. This is Frank. On your page there, you don't tell us what strategy you're using. Which one of the 8 or 9 are you using?
Yes, so I'll go into that, Frank, in just a few minutes.
Sure.
So that's the whole idea, that we make it clear what strategies are being used, and then actually you can make that decision for yourself. That's the purpose of the discussion. Um, so and then if you go down, this is very interesting because whatever this combination is, and we'll go deeper into what this combination is. Um, so you do know that. So this is January. So this is where 2018 ended. Okay, so this is the point in this chart, the profits made chart, where here, right here, where the strategy was about 142K, and we know how market behaved right from January to now, which is December. So from here, there was a big market crash around first second week of February, and it was quite volatile, and you don't see a lot of impact here in your total profits. So it went down a little bit from 150 to something 140, so few percentage points. And then from April onwards, when the market started turning up, it was doing okay. um, but this is where it becomes very interesting, and I wanted to discuss this with you. So the market actually topped right about here. Okay, 20th
Right.
September. That's when probably in the the stock market, investors had their last good day of this year, pretty much. And
Yeah.
right, and after this, it's been all downhill. But you can also see that from 20th September, this you have still been make if you were invested in this strategy, you would still go up from 20th September. It's 183,000 is your total profits, and it's 191 on 12th December. So in about a month and a half of absolute volatility and bad market crashes and etc., this strategy is still did okay. And to consider that it's only buying calls and nothing else. If you go down, it's basically all the same kind of things, which is buy this call and buy that call. It's quite interesting. So just a little more deeper. So basically, from in you can see the number of trades are not too many, because in December we are into 12 days pretty much, and it has made about 7 or 8 trades. That's the number of trades in December. Um, and if you start searching for, and this is very interesting, so if you start searching for sell target, wherever sell target was met, um, so you can see the trades that were made in November, uh, we actually started closing them, and you just have to follow these two dates especially. This is when the idea came up, this is when the sell target was met. So lots of trades, recent trades in November, they got closed. Then lots of trades, I'm still in November, lots of trades on November, and then lots and lots of trades in October. October was a very good month for this strategy. As you can see, there were a bunch of trades which made a lot of profit, um, and they came up in October. So it was a good strategy. Even in September, which is where this is pretty much where the market crashed, somewhere around here. And the trades that were made towards end of September, you can see the date here for the idea and when the sell target was met. It was okay. It was not too bad. And then these were also okay. So basically, the strategy was able to find trades that kept you stable. And the key being, the other thing that you should notice is that there are not lots of drawdowns. So this is one big crash region around February, March, and this is the next big crash region. So we have not seen tremendous drawdowns. The worst drawdown that you see is right here in way back in February 2017, where you made lots of profits, and then it came down from 30,000 of profits to about 15,000 of profits. I don't remember what happened here, but this was the worst, absolute worst drawdown that we see in this strategy. So before we go further into how we build this, is the concept clear? Do you understand the profit graph as well as what the results of this strategy are?
Yeah, I think so. One of this, Frank, again, one of the questions I have several, but one of the questions I had was the idea date versus the fill date. When you scroll down on your screen, you have the idea date. Is that when all the conditions were met that you were ready to place the trade? But how do we know when it actually got filled, that day or 4 days later?
So the process that we follow, Frank, is so let's say this was yesterday, right? So
Yes.
the idea date was yesterday, and um, basically you try to get a fill on next day, and it didn't happen today because MCD for some reason just ran away from us today. So I didn't get this one today.
But let me. That idea date was at the evening before today, correct?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
All right.
That's correct. So idea date. So for example, whatever comes up today will be December 13th. So that will be
Gotcha.
the evening of December 13th, and then you will try to make the trade on December 14th. Uh, Typically, what happens is that if I try to look at worst couple of days back, and that's it. So I will not look at this trade, or if it goes away from me, it goes away from me. That's it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but I still tried to get this trade today, and I don't know if I got it, and I got this trade today. So, okay, so that's
fine. Yeah.
so that's the play. Now the question is, so how do we build this strategy combination? So I will go to, and the whole combination is in the investment settings setup. So let me go to the investment settings page. I just opened that for you. So these are the settings I'm using. You could watch this video later, or you could note this down. Either ways, because I'm recording the screen. So hopefully you will have this. So target profit per trade of 200%, buy limit of 1, this one, target stop loss 5, and maximum investment maximum investment per trade of 250. So I hope nobody has any confusion about what these things are. Just in case, this target profit per trade is basically the amount of money you hope to make on the trade, and you don't close the trade till you make that money. Target buy limit per trade defines how expensive relatively or how cheap relatively is the call option that we are going to buy. Target stop loss is what's the maximum stop loss that we are willing to bear, and the value of 5 means that you are willing to bet, you are willing to lose 95% of the funds that are invested in any one trade, and you know you will not close the trade. So which basically means that you will never close the trade, and so just wait for the last day. That's what I do. You can play around with this, but I'm just going to walk through the settings for which you saw the results, and then you can play around. And then you will not invest more than $250 in every trade, and that's key because you know the whole play is around making many trades and making many small trades. So so now once these are out of the way, this is where it becomes very interesting. So now out of all the 13 strategies that are right now up there, and I think that was the question you had, Frank, that which are the ones that are chosen for the particular setup that I was showing you, and maybe you guys can take a snapshot or note it down. Basically, this is how where you choose. So for this particular setup, milestone plus, and it's actually easier to talk about the ones which are not used because more are used than not used. So milestone plus is not used, swing plus is not used, QRS boost is not used, and Zor boost is not used. So these are the four strategies: Zor boost, QRS boost, swing plus, and milestone plus. So these are not used, everything else is used. And the other thing, it's only looking at S&P 500. So you can see this. The mid cap stocks are not being considered for this particular combination. So for these settings, on the this was the page we were looking at. For the My Strategy Turbo Pack, you see these results. Okay, and now I want to go a little deeper into this because I want to show you how did I choose to remove those 4 out of 13 and not others, and then what else could you do to make this work to your own individual trading style. Okay, and the reason I say that is because we have very enthusiastic people in the group who will be happy to make 1,600 trades over 2 years, and then there will be people who will say, nah, too many, maybe I can make 500. I don't have so much time. I can't make more than 500 trades a year. So different personalities. So the way you do it is you start with a particular combination. Let's say you start with this particular setting. So first things is, don't change this. If you are you can play around with these settings as well, but keep these top 4 settings, which is target profit per trade, buy limit, target stop loss, and max investment to a start point and don't change them. So I start with 200%, 1%, 5% target stop loss, and $250 of investment per trade. And then the question is, which strategies do I choose and how do I make that decision? So first, easy, you make everything yes. Okay. So now everything is a yes. So there is no selection here. So let's see what happens. What does to our TP strategies. Okay, so this is what it does. So right now you're looking at 2,300 trades and your gains would be about $92 per trade. So this is how you begin. And remember, I'm looking at the turbo pack section. So whatever we discussed for this pack is actually the same concept that you could apply for either the booster pack or the mainline strategies. Both will work the same way, but let's stay with this. So then you kind of see that this one is 23.79 and 92, too many trades. How do I select? So you start going into each strategies. So we'll go very quickly into the pages of each one and see how to make a decision whether it's going to be a yes or a no. So I opened the Swing Boost TP page, and you do see that for this strategy you made 300, you had 312 trades come up and 43 was your expected gain. So this is what I do. So I basically start making a very quick table. So 312 and 43, these are the numbers right here for Swing Boost, and then change to Swing Plus, and that's really bad, 113 and 2. So just say 113 and 2, and then go to the next one. Let's see, Milestone Boost, that is 171 and 64. Okay, so I guess you guys are already getting the drift, but I still wanted to take you through this process a little bit mechanically. That's why I didn't fill this table up totally, because it helps to get the concept right. So this is Milestone Contra, 70 trades, $180 expected win. And then Milestone, then the next one is Milestone Plus. So okay, 152 and 84. So any question, just shoot. Okay, don't wait, otherwise I might go too fast or something, and then I might actually not be explaining myself very well. But so you can shoot at any point while I'm mechanically doing this job of filling this up. So 144, 107. Now we are at OV Boost, which is 175, 134. Vega Contra, that's the next one. So how much is that? So this is 251, 154, and then Vega Boost. Let's check this one out. This is 263, 108. QRS Contra is 124, 173, 24, 173. QRS Boost. Okay, let's go to QRS Boost. This is 215.6, really ugly. And then Zor Contra and Zor Boost. So let's look at Zor Contra first. This is 185, 148. And the next one is Zor Boost. Okay, where is it? And this is 204.66. So you have all this data. Okay, and I think these should all be TPs. So these are not BPs, so these are all TPs. So now you can actually see what's happening here. So clearly having this one doesn't make any sense, right? So let's try and sort this. sort, let's say ascending. Okay, so this is OneDrive and this totally messed it up. So let me try give this a shot again. So sort ascending, and it again messed it up because I have never done this on OneDrive directly. So let me try. Okay, let's see. Let's try filter. Okay, and then let's say less than or greater than. Let's say greater than 100. Okay, let's do that. So if I do that filter, it tells me that I can just use these 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 strategies. Okay, so let's give that a shot. Let's go back to settings. So anything which is not milestone, contra, OI boost, OV boost, oh, we have to convert it to no. So maybe I should just change the filter. Less than 100. So whatever is less than 100, we'll switch it off. So let's switch off. Let's go back to settings. Where are they? Okay, here are the settings. So I do remember swing plus was really bad. So no. Swing boost was a no. Let's go back here. Swing boost and swing plus, milestone boost and milestone plus are also bad. So let's switch them off. Well, not milestone plus was not bad, but at least it's not as high as 100. And what else? QRS boost. Okay, this is totally ugly for this particular setting. So where is QRS boost? It's right here. No. And ZOR boost. Okay, 20466. Let's get rid of that as well. Okay, so let's see what happens. So we have turned everything which was less than 100 to no, and that's actually reflected in your settings, so you can check it out on top of the page. Whatever we can change to no, that does change to no, really. And then let's go back to the page. So where is it? So this is where we were, $23.79, $92 when everything was turned on. And this is again the my strategy TP page, the turbo pack. And let's reload it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now your number of trades will go down to 1,200. Your average profit, of course, increases because you didn't even look at anything which was less than $100, and you would have still being okay if. And I'm specifically focusing on time period from 20th September to now because it's very fresh in our minds. 20th September is when the market peaked, 2018, and at that point your profit would have been around 160,000 if we had started counting from January of last year. And now you are at 167. So you have not really gone down even with this setup. So okay, so this was the first and foremost thing that I wanted to discuss, the whole process of how do you go through this strategy selection process. So any questions here?
How often do we have to do this?
Actually, you don't have to, you shouldn't be doing it too often. You should do it maybe once every quarter or something if things are not going well, or if you are getting too many trades or too little trades, and that's it. I pretty much don't do it too often, honestly. I just do it. I just did it in about July, August, and then I've been stable with that. So you only change it for two reasons. One could be that whatever number of trades that you're getting, you are not able to follow that. Okay, it's too much. Or whatever number of trades you are getting are too little, or it has stopped working for some reason. One of these three. And I have not reached a point where it stopped working has happened because it's fundamentally okay. But there is always the trade-off of about how many trades you want to make.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. I have a question.
Okay.
When you say per trade, can you define what a trade is? Because is it, let's say we talk about one contract, right? Is it one contract or in one order? If I have 10 contracts, that's what it is. I mean, what exactly a trade means?
Okay. So since your voice was breaking down a little bit, so let me repeat what the question was. The question was, what is the meaning of one trade here? Is it one contract, or if you are trading multiple contracts, then what does that constitute trade? So to answer that question, uh, the key number is right here. The the maximum amount of investment, I just highlighted it on the screen. The maximum amount of investment that you are willing to make in every trade. So if in our investment settings for whatever I shared today, it's $250. So you're not making more than $250. Now, if I go down, let's look at one example trade. The first one that comes is buy one contract for MCD at strike 192.5 and the target buy is 170. So why one contract? Because if you buy two contracts, you will be spending more than $250 because 170 into 2 is more than 250. It's $340. Therefore, it basically limits you at $250 of maximum investment, and whatever contracts you can buy within that limit, it gives you that. For the Verizon trade, you could buy actually 5 such contracts because the contract was cheaper. It was just 43 cents. So basically, one trade is limited to whatever you see in this cell, the idea cell. That's it. It could be one or many contract, but you will always be limited to the maximum amount of investment that you have set up in your trade settings. So,
Great, thank you.
So what we are saying effectively is that for every trade, if we are limited to $250, you are expecting to make over these 1,200 trades. On every trade, you are expecting to make 138 on average, which means that there will be trades where you will make much higher than this, which is actually here 485 trades much more than that, and then there'll be trades where you will of course lose all your money. Okay, and you can get all this information lower down in the page actually if you search for every trade. So this trade met the sell target, this trade you are currently at a loss, you haven't closed it. This trade, this one, the Disney trade, the loss is right now it's down minus 50%, but it actually did achieve as high, it went as high as 123%, and you still didn't close it because your setting is 200%. But okay, so we will go into that discussion in a bit, that you could actually change this number as well, and we can see the impact of that what's your target profit, how does changing your target profit impact your win ratio and impact the amount of money that you can win. In case there are any questions, let's take them here, otherwise we go to that. Okay, so let's play with this a little bit more, because remember I initially said that don't touch any of the top 4. You of course can touch, but it makes sense to not touch them when you are doing your strategy selection. So keep them fixed, and then once you have decided your strategies, then you can start playing around with them. So let's see what happens. If the target profit per trade is 200%, we already know, yeah, this was the number. We get this for the strategy selection that we just did. So let's change it to 100. Okay, and then what it does is you're basically going for doubling your money or nothing. And let me open another page. So this is the TP page. It should actually open up. So for the same 1200 trades, your average expected profit actually goes down from 138 to 102. Your win ratio goes up drastically. And so clearly this particular setting will give you, will keep you happier, slightly happier, because you will have this, you know, dopamine rush of winning more often, because you made, you have 652 trades, which made more than 100%, while you had just 485, which made more than 200. So your win ratio is less, but effectively, that happiness will cost you a little bit of money, because your average profit per trade, expected profit per trade, goes down from 138 to 102. Not bad still. And then depending upon what your style is, you could choose either. I mean, 652 trades are making more than 100%, which means that there are at least 600 days, or around 600 days, from January 2018 to now, where you will have some trades. Well, okay, that's wrong, because there can be more trades making money on one day. But yeah, at least 600 times you'll feel happier when you're closing the trade. In this one, 480 times you'll feel happy. But the happiness, you will have to pay for it a little bit. Clear on this? We can do a little bit more with this. Let's see. If I change this to just 50%, yeah, right here, which means that you will come out of the trade very quickly if it makes money. So let's change this again, and I'll open it in another tab, because that will help us compare. It's coming up. So for the same 1200 trades, your win ratio actually goes up further. So about 780 times you will actually close with profit, compared to 650 times for 100% target, and compared to 480 times with 200% target. It will cost you even more money, because your average expected gain actually goes down further. In any of these scenarios, your drawdowns are quite limited. So I think that's what I like about the using a combination of strategies, rather than just one given strategy. And so this is the trade-off, pretty much.
Aish, this is Frank. Let me ask a question here. It would be too simplistic of me to just say, okay, you multiply 1,200 trades times $250 entry, and that's over 300 grand. What is the maximum amount of money you're out of pocket, so to speak, at any one time? Is there any way that I'm trying not to be so personal about it, but what are you looking at possibly?
Yeah, so you're right, Frank. So this will be a little bit simplistic. Actually, you can do that math, and I have not found time to put it on the page, but I can explain how this works very quickly. Basically, let's say you can do this analysis at multiple points of time. So let's say you were starting in right here. This is January 2017. Okay. And then this is where this is about end of February. Okay. March. So this is about 60 days, and in 60 days it's showing you $8,500 of profit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So very simplistic way to do would be, you go right to the bottom of the page and say, okay, so January and February, how many trades did I have to make? So let's do this roughly. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Okay, so you're 50, 55. Okay, roughly about 60-ish trades. Okay.
Okay.
January and February. So, and you would have at most spent 250 in some of those. Actually, this one was 190, 220. So let's say 250. Very simple. So 250 multiplied by 60 is how much is that? About $15,000.
250 times that would be us 15,000, right?
Yeah, so about $15,000. So January, if you had started in January of 2017, you would have been out of pocket 15,000 at March 1st. Right here, March 1st, and your portfolio would be showing 23,500.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Right.
Then it goes down a little, it goes back up a little. But this is how you do the math. So let's say if you said that, okay, I start in October, okay, October of 2018. So you can again, or November of 2018. So let's look at this here. So November 1st, okay, what happened here? So November 1st, okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, okay, right about 20-ish trades. So not too many trades came up. So you would have spent $5,000 from November 1st out of pocket to now. And let's see, where is November 1st here? So it's right here. So this is 80,200 and this is 79,005. So you are still out about 5,000 and your portfolio will show slightly less than 5,000. So it depends. In general, my experience is that you should, if you're looking at 1,000 trades, you should consider putting about $20,000, and then at that point you can be on your own. Basically, the money will start to feed itself.
Okay, good.
Okay, anybody else? Any question on that? Because this was a very sharp question that Frank had, and it's key to, you know, calculating returns on these strategies. Okay, none. And then please keep this in mind, because I have seen you know, a couple of folks in our group have made a lot of money and then have lost a lot of money as well, because they were not using the combinations in the safest possible way. And then if you had, you know, if you go into this kind of streak, let me show you what happens. So let's say if you run into this sort of streak, look at that. Okay, so in like from October 12th to 19th, you probably would think that you are king of the world, sort of, because you are, everything that you touch is turning to gold. And those are exactly the points of time that you should remind yourself that there is no, this is just math. If you are, and the law of averages will catch up, and therefore do not, you know, break the rules, which is, do not start to suddenly increase your investment because you're winning, or change strategies for no reason, because whatever decision you take has to be a consistent strategic decision. It can't be just because you won, you made a lot of wins or you made a lot of losses suddenly. So that's when it becomes critical to follow the rules. And when I say follow the rules, which is do your strategy selection, it could be in the TP, it could be in the BP, which is booster pack, or it could be the main line, any of those. And then stick with it. By the way, you guys do understand the differences between the mainline and turbo packs?
Not really.
Okay. So mainline is, so the reason booster and turbo packs came up was because I wanted to create strategies where you can reduce your investment per trade to 250 or less, and still have a considerable number of trades appear for small investors, because there are investors who are using mainline. And then what happens in mainline is, and let me show you that. So this is mainline, and this is the my strategy page of mainline for the same settings that we were looking at for this one. This is the turbo pack page. So you can see the difference. Mainline does not give you too many trades, and this is the same thing over last 2 years. Okay, so for these settings, mainline does not give you too many trades, and so this works beautifully. Mainline, if your investment criteria is different, for example, you want to invest slightly more money, or you want to change the buy setting a little bit higher from 1% to 2% or something, and then you will see the difference. So this mainline will change to a much more respectable number. Okay, didn't do too much good here, because for whatever reason this strategy selection, actually this brings out a good point. The strategy selection that we went through in the earlier part of the call for TP, it's not necessary that the same strategy selection will be useful for mainline or booster pack. These are, fundamentally different beasts. So you have to go through the same process again. And can, can you guys, do you guys remember what the process was to select the strategies?
Basically, you have to sort based upon the number of trades and win ratio, right?
Right. So thanks, Sarat. But just mechanically, the way it works is,
Yes.
let's say you are looking at, let's try this here for the my strategy of mainline. So just mechanically, the way it works is you first go to your investment settings, and I forgot where they are. Okay, here they are. So you go to investment settings, and first don't touch these guys, the top ones, whatever they are, let them be. Okay. And then turn everything to yes, right? And then only choose S&P 500 first. Change that, and then let's go back and see what happens. So basically 2,800 trades per trade is 29, abysmal, really ugly. And then you start going through each one. So swing boost, you say 325, 29, and build this table right here. Okay, let's remove the filter. So you build this table, and for each of the strategy you put number of trades and expected win, which is coming directly from this number here, and let's say pick the best possible combination for you.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, and you have to do that. If you choose something, if you go with $250 of maximum investment, you have to either pick the booster packs or the turbo packs, because nothing else will work well. If you are into $500 and higher ranges, mainline works way better in my experience, because that's where it becomes more interesting. So different people, different choices. So these strategies, the mainline strategies, there is a hedge fund in Dallas who's using these because they like to invest more money per trade, not $250, and it works well for them. But for people who are not as aggressive or automated investors, like you and me, retail guys, pick turbo packs or booster packs. Make your selection. If you have a question, ask in the group or shoot me a message or something. But the process that we follow is what we discussed. Okay, any questions? Okay then, so it seems that we kind of got 15 minutes back to our lives today. We are finishing in 45. So happy holidays, everyone. I don't think we will have this meeting for next couple of weeks.
Can I ask one question, Aish?
Yeah, Frank, sure, go ahead.
Right, okay. Just real quick, just to review just one question. The four in your turbo pack, the four that you did not use are Milestone Plus, Swing Boost, and QRS Contra. Is that correct?
The ones that I did not use in the first setup that I showed you?
Yes, in the turbo pack.
Okay, so in the turbo pack, the first setup that I showed you, I did not use Milestone Plus. I did not use Swing Plus. I did not use QRS Boost. And I did not use ZOR Boost. So this one. So Swing Plus, these okay, these two. Let's change the color to, oh, okay. I didn't use this. What else I didn't use? I definitely didn't use this. I didn't use that. So this was the original setup where we started at the beginning of the call.
Okay.
And then when we were building it, we kind of made this list, and then I filtered it like this. You could sort it also but OneDrive, for some reason, I don't know how to use it well. So you could sort it, and then I said remove everything which is less than, and I picked 100 out of the blue because there were many which were more than 100. You could pick any other number as well. You could say 110, let's say, is less than 110. And in that case, you would go no for each of them, if that's your criteria, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, okay. Well, I got a screenshot of that, so that should help me write it down too.
Okay, and I'll put this video on YouTube so you could refer to it, but you'll have to remember that we are like 45 minutes into this. So, okay. So, clear everybody? Thanks, Frank. Great questions.
Well, I do thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. Don't gain too much weight. Spend
Thank
time
you,
with your families.
Thank you.
Okay,
And
thank you, Ash. Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.